Mitch McConnell, who just days ago, last week, I guess, said that he is going to step down as leader at the end of this year, but stay in the Senate, and recognizing that it is now Donald Trump's Republican Party. Behind the scenes, he's also mourning the death of his sister-in-law. It's been a very difficult time medically for him as well. But the reality is more political than medical. He would press on. That's the Mitch McConnell that we've covered for decades, you and I. How important is it for Donald Trump that Mitch McConnell, who had been really the holdout among the Republicans in the Senate, is now basically throwing in the towel?
Yeah, Andrea, it's really instructive on how the party starts to kind of come together, and even parts that aren't necessarily fans of former President Donald Trump, that with 8 months to go, that as time goes on and the sights become this is going to be Joe Biden versus Donald Trump, how Republicans go back to their corners and Democrats go back into theirs. And when it comes to Mitch McConnell, do note that it's just not, he's not the only recent endorsement coming from the Senate side who's been kind of critical of Donald Trump. We saw John Thune do the exact same thing. And so I do think that that is a suggestion eventually about how Nikki Haley comes. Not predicting, because obviously the remarks we heard from this morning, the ball is in his court. She ended up having some potentially critical comments of his. But as time goes on, you can potentially see her doing the same thing.
And John Barrasso was already in the Trump camp. He's going to be running now for whip, the #2 spot. So I don't know what you think. It's too early to tell, maybe, but would this quiet the rebellion that we've already seen in the Rick Scott part of the Republican Party? Will Donald Trump go along with this, or will he be on the revenge mode and not accept this endorsement and want his own trusted player in there?
Andrea, Donald Trump is always unpredictable. And so it's hard to know what he's going to say on his Truth Social account, like we saw Nikki Haley this morning. It's hard to actually anticipate how he'll end up receiving this. But I think one little rule of thumb about Donald Trump is that when people actually come to him and say, hey, I'm now behind you, Donald Trump usually embraces them. It is when they criticize him that when he punches back. And so I do think that as people start coming back into the fold, that you'll end up seeing the Donald Trump we saw from last night, the more magnanimous side, as opposed to the side who always likes to punch back. And a lot of that is determined on, hey, are you in his corner or are you against